It's Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. So, I don't know, your dedication to pessimistic Twins coverage, Pat, is very, very
Well,
impressive.
I would more than anything, I was depressed about the game yesterday, not necessarily just the Twins, but just the way that it's, slowed 2 hours and 57 minutes. There was only 14 hits. There was only 4 walks. It was just they figure out how to dwaddle along because nobody swings the bat. The Cleveland will, they'll, once in a while they'll bushwhack a bloop single here and there, but you know, the Twins, no matter what they try to tell us in spring training, it's the same old crap. They're waiting to, don't swing until you get a pitch you can do some damage, and they they set a world record for strikeouts last year. And I was worried that they could not make a run at it again with no Joey, but no, I'm thinking maybe they can. We got Eddie up there taking 3 called third strikes. It's somebody's got to tell this kid that that if it's 2 inches 2 centimeters off the plate, you got to swing the bat with 2 strikes, you dummy.
Yeah.
But
We talked about this on the Twin Show yesterday, that he knows the strike zone very
yes,
well.
he does.
But there is still a human being back there that's eyeballing close pitches on the corner, and it's not good enough to just beat the K zone. You're going to get rung on close pitches.
I am well, you know what that did to me yesterday, though? I am very worried about the K zone. I know you guys are all in on at least Phil, I know you are, the computerized strike zone. If that's going to I think they're going to have to do something to make it wider, because these guys will never swing the bleeping bat if if you got a little bit of a smaller strike zone being called, by the computer. How are you going to get? That's the problem right now. And I was saying, well, you got to get, maybe we're going to have to move the pitcher's mound back. No, they'll take more pitches then.
Yeah.
My new problem is, how do you get them to swing the bat?
What if we program the strike zone like Laz Diaz, where it's going to be an electronic K zone with like a 10% spaz rate, where
right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Laz, let's use Laz's strike zone for the computer, and then we'll be.
It's a little bit randomized.
The computer will malfunction, start to overheat and burst.
It's like a Tesla. 1 in every 10 just kind of veers off into the other lane. It's supposed to be driving on autopilot, but 1 in every 10 will still kind of going on.
I was looking up the Twins' first ever home game because I was there yesterday, 1961, and it was I think a 5-3 game. Washington won it, but I think it was 223, and there were no speed up rules.
Yeah,
it was a cold day, and you just played baseball. But you had Yogi Berras in the league, and if the ball was near the home plate, they swung at it. Now, if it's not here, you don't swing. Popkins pop heads are going. It's I looked it up. They struck. I was looking. I went through the whole box scores last night when I got home. They struck out 15 or more times, 6, 8, 9, 10, 16 times last year. And now 3 of those, they needed a little assistance in overtime, in extra innings, but 13 times they struck out. They had one little nice stretch here where they struck out 15 times one day and 18 2 days later.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
It's I don't know what I don't know what the solution is, but it's the new philosophy of baseball, and I don't think, we all love the home run, but I don't think fans want to sit around for 40 pitches that aren't swung at. It's just, I don't know. What do you think, Judd? I don't know.
I think so. Actually the pitch clock is down to, they took it from 20 to 18 seconds with guys on base. Here's what I think. I think these guys have learned in the last year how to use as much of that clock as possible now.
Yes.
It felt to me like the players have now adjusted so that the clock is still useful, But I'm with you yesterday. That game felt slow. I was shocked when I saw the time of game and it came in under 3. I felt that game was really, really slow. It felt like 2 years ago from pace, and
it really
that concerns me.
Cleveland.
Wait, so the game was under 3 hours, but because you perceived it to have gone longer, then
No,
so you guys were wrong.
No, but there wasn't anything happening, Phil. If it's 3 hours and something happens, okay, but nothing happened. It was there were just endless times, half innings where nothing happened. You threw, when some guy throws 15 pitches against you in an inning, something should be going on. You should
I
get
feel
a
like you
rally.
just described baseball in general, though. Like it's like 3-ish hours, not a whole lot going on for the most part.
Yeah, well, that's
Get back in the box and swing. Just get back in the box and swing.
Well, they don't swing, though.
They do.
It's
problem
April.
is
You're
you
not
don't-
Picasso at the plate. Get back in the box, play the game, swing the bat, and don't. Pitchers don't have to wait. As Dex pointed out a bunch of times, and he's right. The Guardian starter, he
Tanner
let
Bybee.
that sucker. Yeah, he let that
No, he
sucker
wasn't.
hit 0.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I never heard of him, but he
was
pitched
good
for him
Good,
last year.
but-
He was good for him
Well,
last
He's
the
year.
good.
pitch.
They always find guys like that too.
Yeah.
It's just some guy throwing frisbees and an ERA under 3. It's amazing.
I was saying last year that I would trade any 2 Twins for Bobby Witt. I've got that up to 4 now. I'll trade 4. They can have. They can
Okay,
have their
Reusse,
pick of
Carlos
4.
Correa,
Brooks
Buxton.
Pablo, well, Reusse with the bad, I'll tell you what, they miss him, Reusse, because there's just an energy about the guy.
Yeah.
And there's no energy yesterday. Who can strike out, who's underrated striker outer? Willie Castro. He can strike out. He can, and if I was the Twins, you know what I'd be afraid of? Willie Castro playing like Willie Castro. That would be that would terrify.
They like him too much. I told
love
Dex that, Pat. He's a utility guy that should play occasionally.
He should be.
He's becoming their
utility.
Jake Cave. Hey, let's just play him every day. It'll work out great. It's like,
Well,
no.
they don't have their third baseman, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it was a boring game yesterday, and the smallest opener at Target Field, not associated with the pandemic, right?
Yes, smallest attendance. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's still 35K, but
Yeah,
it was
okay, but
they sold out 10 years until the pandemic for the most part opening day.
But my whole vibe from last year when the crowd went crazy there and they filled it up and everybody it was like the youth, the single youth that's looking for something to do said, "Hey, this might be fun," and they went to the ball game. But these aren't people disgruntled because they let Sonny Gray go. These people the ones who didn't show up don't even know that Sonny Gray isn't pitching here anymore. They were the bandwagon jumpers from last year, which is fine. They had a great time. They created a terrific vibe in the ballpark. And yesterday, it was a snooze fest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like some of these, they've got to find a way at some point to put a ball in play when there's a guy on third base in less than 2 outs. I know it's early in the season, but that was the difference in the game yesterday. Both teams reached base, I think, almost the same amount of times, and the difference is Cleveland strikes out 7 times and hits a fly ball to the warning track for a sac fly and moves a runner over here with the productive out. A productive out. Now I sound like the old guy yelling at a crowd here. A productive out can still exist in baseball today. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize. I knew we set the all-time world record for strikeouts last year. I didn't realize how dominant we were. I did 51 more than anybody else.
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah.
They ran away with it.
We coasted to it.
Dominant in strikeouts.
How can I really didn't think that they could do it again without Joey, but I don't know. Maybe Joey was invaluable, but. Actually, in a lot of the 15 strikeout games or more, Joey didn't contribute. He didn't play or something.
Are we gonna have a prolonged period again of Kepler appearing to be clueless?
He looks hurt. He was like he was wincing when he was walking back from the box and stuff. He looks like he's still hobbled. I know he took a pitch off him in Kansas City or something.
Yeah.
Something seems off with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, I think they would have moved him if they could have gotten anything for him, don't you? I mean,
Yeah.
Hope so.
he was outstanding the second half, but he's, I heard somebody, the first question he asked him was, "This could be your last year here, then it could be your last month here." Who knows? So I
Yeah.
don't know, though. It's look out. By the way, look out for the Tigers. Woo!
Yep.
The Tigers are they got 5 young guys who are like high draft choices, hot prospects, and they're playing all of them. This Torkelson's going to be a 35 home run hitter, and they're going to, we're getting older and wearing down, and they're getting younger and getting better, and I don't know. But then again, what the hell? Last year, I remember last year I was in the middle of the summer saying, "Has there ever been a more unlikable team than the Twins, than this Twins team?" And then Reusse showed up and changed everything. So
Yeah, no, he is. It's amazing. Yeah, by the way, it's funny. Declan went up in the clubhouse and actually got a scoop. Royce confirmed it's a grade 2 strain of his quad, but Declan sent us just off mic the initial, because he was like rolling on his camera. Royce, confirmed a regular viewer and listener of SKOR North, which you have. And he prefers the YouTube version of the SKOR North podcast.
Really does,
So,
yes.
Royce, if you are hanging out with us here today, hello.
Buddy.
Speedy recovery.
He must be a big football fan. I think he likes
Huge
Purple
football
Daily,
fan.
doesn't he? Yeah.
Is he a Purple Daily guy?
He likes fantasy football, and he likes he does not have allegiance to any football team. That's what he told me in Dukes. He did say, though, he wants the Vikings to trade up to get Drake May, and that Bailey Ober and Drake May are friends.
Oh,
Really?
There's a connection.
Okay.
There. There's a connection there.
There's something you're only going to get from Royce, because Bailey Ober's never going to tell you.
No,
that.
he's not going to tell you.
No. That's good. So, but Bailey's got to be 4 or 5 years older than him, right? What
Bailey's like
yeah.
26,
Well,
right?
he went to because he was high school baseball teammates with Garrett Bradbury. Bailey Ober
that's
was.
right. That's right.
So there's a North Carolina connect. I mean, small world North Carolina. Everyone's, I think,
all
tight
the
there,
athletes are just
yeah. They're just
rolling
boys,
around together.
All right. Are you going to be in front of your TV for Caitlin and Paige tonight, fellas?
Oh,
Yes, I'm rooting for Paige. I'm rooting for UConn. I know Iowa's UConn has a
neutral.
bajillion championships, but I'm rooting for Paige.
I'm neutral. I don't have. I spent enough time around Gino not to be offended by him, but he's an okay guy. He's turned into Grandpa Gino now, but it is amazing. They're missing half their team, and they still have they're still in the Final Four. And I don't know what was Iowa. We decided yesterday Iowa was 2.5-point favorite, right? So,
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I haven't checked today, but they were 2.5 yesterday.
I wonder if they'll have Paige chasing Caitlin around. Probably, huh?
That's what that's what I would love to see. I think, yeah,
because she's got the height to do it. Her last game against LSU, they tried to have a 5'6" or 7".
Well, they had Haley Van Lith. There was the great
5'7".
The great camera shot of Caitlin Clark hitting one of her bajillion threes, and Haley Van Lith has a hand up coming off a screen, and she just like shrugs her shoulders like, "What the hell am I?" And then hits the transfer portal a day later.
That was the best part. I'll see you later. Bye.
You don't want to have Kim tell her how rotten her defense was anymore. Thank you. I'll head on out of here. So.
Hey, if she wants to come and play for the potentially soon-to-be women's NIT champion Gophers, can we scrounge up a couple bucks for Haley Van Lith?
We're gonna have a new cheer. We're 101. We're number 101 because there's 100 teams in the NCAA tournament and then the NCAA's women's tournament. So we're 101. But they're ending up. They couldn't find a place to play it. We didn't want it because we got the robotics. The State High School League robotics thing is at Williams this weekend, and Mariucci, both. And St. Louis must have had something in their arena because they're playing it at SIU Edwardsville, 30 miles out of town. They're playing it at SIU Edwardsville, which isn't even the big SIU. It's the other SIU,
Wow.
That's where they're
Okay.
playing the prestigious NIT championship.
That's okay. Let's go. It
That's
doesn't matter.
right.
We just roll the ball out. Doesn't matter where.
If we can celebrate the Quick Lane Bowl being Quick Lane Bowl champions, we can celebrate being the WNIT champions.
Exactly.
Yes.
The football team went to a bowl game and took great pride in winning because of its grades. You know what? At that point in time, you're celebrating anything you get.
Yes, that's true. We're just such geniuses over there now. You couldn't flunk out of any college, right? The only thing, you have to be found in a ditch somewhere drinking, Mogan David for months, not ever
Boone's
going
Farm?
near a class to flunk out. Boone's Farm, yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
this is, Pat? This was Sid's dream. It's finally been realized.
Yes,
we have
right.
the sports management class.
Yeah, even if it's not sports management, you got 7 tutors over there hand carrying you through this. You can't flunk out. It's impossible. If you don't even have to show up, just be registered and don't do anything stupid. So it's amazing.
Pat,
Hey,
by the way, you mentioned the women's tournament. This is a great weekend, and then the Masters next weekend. This is a nice little stretch for
Yes, it is.
sportsmen.
Yes, it is. Boy, it's going to be. We're gonna, the Liv boys are coming to the Masters. They're going to be the favorites. Scotty Scheffler versus the world. There, he's the only guy. He's the only guy left that's playing. Right, it's going to be now. Last year it was like last couple of years it was kind of like I think they're fine.
There's a lot of tension before, but now that it's kind of merging and we're not sure where it's going, everyone's like, okay, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, but the funny thing is they announced the merger, and they won't be stealing your golfers anymore, and by the way, we're taking John Rahm for $600 million or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
I had what's the name of the prince over there? Like the guy who was trying to ruin sports and had the guy disemboweled and everything else over there. What's the guy?
Reporter, yeah.
No,
Not sure what his name is.
Yeah.
What is it? I said he's taken over golf. He's taken over soccer. He's taking over Formula One racing. They're trying to do that too. But he watched yesterday's Twins games and he decided he didn't want baseball. He's not interested. The prince says, I don't want that game. I'm not there.
At what point will the Saudis come in, purchase the UFL, the new minor league football team, and then go to a guy like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson and say, here's $100 million a year that the NFL can't pay you because they have a salary cap.
Well,
to just go score 60 touchdowns in the UFL.
That's how the AFL got a merger. They started going after the quarterbacks. Al Davis said, let's go get the quarterbacks. And that's when and that was when quarterbacks were less important than they are now. But that's how they
could make it like in, I think, MLS. So they have like a salary cap structure, but you can allot, I think, one roster spot to go outside of your salary cap structure so that you can bring in a Messi or whoever it is. If a competing football league ever did that and paid quarterbacks $75-80 million, it would get really interesting.
Yeah, but the NFL is so smart. They'll just give him a franchise. We'll go.
Yeah.
Well, our expansion will be London and Saudi Arabia, if that's what he wants it to do.
Can you imagine? Here we are. It's Thursday night on NBC. Chris Collinsworth. Hey, Pat.
I can guarantee you they got their eyes on that Saudi money, the NFL. There's no pot of money that they're not looking at. They're looking at.
Coming up next. Oh, man. Pat, tell the audience about your favorite car dealership here, huh?
Hey, Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers out in Hastings and Apple Valley. My guy's in Apple Valley. I've been buying cars out there 12, 13 years. And guess what? Valley right now has their best inventory in years. They have really all the Buick and GMC models. There was, the supply chain was low there for a while during the COVID, and then after COVID, and the chip issues or whatever, to make the cars run, basically, they couldn't get chips for a while, and there was some dealers were charging way over the manufacturer's suggested price, but not Jim Paul's. And now They have all the stock you could ask for. They even have the hard to find Yukons and the heavy duty pickups. Plenty of deep discounts right now. Many factory rebates and low interest financing, 0.9%, 1.9%. It's a great time to go back to Valley Group at GMC and Apple Valley and Hastings, or look at the valleycardealers.com and see the inventory, see what appeals to you. And Jim says what we have going now is car buying without the bad aftertaste. That sounds pretty good.
I like that. Yeah.
Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM Dealers, Hastings and Apple Valley.
All right, Pat, enjoy your sports viewing weekend here.
Okay, I'll be in front of the TV for the women's hoops. Which are we predicting? They'll probably go 18 million tonight. Friday though, not as
for viewership.
Yeah.
So they did 12. They did 12 for the LSU Iowa game.
Yeah, that might be the max here, but they do 13, 14. They'll rival the men probably.
Yeah, you know? It's tucked. It's the second game, so they'll get the lead in of the first game.
I'm having just. That'll be fun. All right, Jim.
All right, there he is. Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk here on SKOR North.